music that I'm playing here for part 5 is For the Love Of. But for the love of what? For the love of MUSHA? For the love of money? For the love of Sega Genesis? It could be anything. One thing I do love, and that you should love too, is playing this game. MUSHA doesn't follow the traditional snow level, lava level, forest level, desert level. It has some variations on that, but it's also got some pretty unique alien spaceship levels. A nice assortment of bad guys that come at you. I believe that the next game in this series, I mentioned earlier that there weren't sequels to MUSHA. I do think there was another one in this series called ROBO ALESTE. I might be pronouncing that incorrectly. I'm not exactly sure what the Aleste thing refers to, but ROBO ALESTE came out on the Sega CD, and I'll be doing a review of that game later. It gives a little more explanation into the plot, which is completely impossible and nonsensical, but unique and very entertaining. This game doesn't give you much of a sense into the plot. Well, this is one of the more unique bosses. I like this chick. And after you defeat her, her hands go up to her eyes and cover her face. That's a nice touch. Can you imagine what the design meetings for this game were like? A bunch of guys sitting around in a room with a chalkboard drawing things like the bad guy that's going to be a face hovering at you with hands that come down, and then when you shoot her, blood rains from her eyes, and then they cover her face. Like, that'd be a cool job. This is where things really start getting tough, when you start seeing the enemy battleships or whatever these things are that have gun turrets all over them. And this is where you start really needing your supporting ships, because you take a lot of hits on these levels, or at least I do. Maybe you're better than I am at this game, but I get just raked with fire on these. So I try to take out every cannon as fast as I can when I see them, but this of course gets difficult when things fly on screen and start shooting at you from the side. One thing about the music, it certainly gets your adrenaline pumping, so you want to keep playing this game and destroy as many alien bad guys as possible. This is one of those games I find that I simply can't play late at night if I'm tired. This is a good early morning, first cup of coffee, sit down and play some MUSHA kind of game. And it's a good length too. You can play through the entire thing in about 20-some minutes. So it's not like you're sitting there for, several hours trying to get through MUSHA. And if you do die, the game does have continue, so you can start at the level at which you just died. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this game is very difficult when you don't have all of your weapons maxed out. So when you do that, you start with just a single shot and no extra support fighters. So you literally have to start from scratch, which makes this game really hard. I've not had much luck continuing at the later levels. Nice parallax scrolling here. We see the green forest level with some lava below it. You ever notice that video game designers just love lava? There's always lava levels. I guess it's because it's just one of those things you don't see on a daily basis. You don't have to drive to work and go through a lava level. And I'm just trashing this lady this time. See all the bombs hitting her? I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one. I love that it shoots missiles out of its mouth. Does anyone else remember Transor Z? Maybe they'll make a Transor Z video game someday.